Today's video is on the permanent income hypothesis. Starting with the definition, consumers will manage their spending so that they consume at a consistent level in line with their long-term average income. The theory was developed by economist Milton Friedman in 1957, and he believed that consumers will consume based on their predicted long-term average income in an attempt to smooth their consumption over their lifetime. There are a few main assumptions underlying the theory, and they are that consumers will aim to maximize their lifetime utility, consumers are forward-looking, consumers are rational, and that consumers work in their own self-interest. The main inner workings behind the theory are the Euler equation, which is central to the permanent income hypothesis. This pits current utility based on consumption today in period 1 against future utility gained from consumption in the future. And when these two are in equilibrium, the net utility from one unit of consumption today equals the utility benefit of saving that unit instead. The other equation represents the optimal amount of consumption today versus future consumption. The outcome of the theory is that combining the analysis of the Euler equation with the assumptions we make about the consumers, we are able to find our conclusion. Consumers will only increase their consumption if they expect a permanent increase in their long-term average income. Consumers will set consumption equal to the expected long-term average income. So if a consumer receives what they think to be a temporary income increase, they will not increase their consumption to reflect this. Instead, they will save the increased income as they value long-term consumption smoothing. Now, this is very different to the Keynesian approach. The Keynesian approach bases consumption levels on current income, not expected long-term average income. This means there is an obvious clash between the two theories, and this clash poses a major problem for policymakers in relation to impacting an economy. So when government officials have to decide how to implement certain policies to get the stimulus that they want, if a government wanted to raise consumption in an economy via the Keynesian theory, they need only increase current income, which is significantly easier to achieve than increasing long-term average income, as it is needed for the permanent income theory. This makes it much more attractive to do Keynesian approaches to impacting, say, consumer spending, because in the permanent income theory, consumers are much more likely to save this additional income rather than going out and spending it. And that is the permanent income hypothesis.